All right, welcome back. It's early October 1861, and I've made some significant orders, and this could be a very, very busy turn. So we'll basically start off in Virginia. Jackson's unable to form an army because I've given it to Johnston because he's the next in line. However, I formed a couple divisions here with Smith and General B. In addition, a small division has been formed with Winder, and he'll go to Winchester and take it over. Johnston's going to move on Taylor, West Virginia, without forming divisions, so they don't get penalized. He's arriving in 8 days. As you can see, we've maxed out the capacity, so there's no penalty. The Keys suffers from quite a large penalty. So we do have 3 offensive battery pieces and then 2 defensive battery pieces. So we'll see if that's enough artillery to push them out. My main objective is really just I'm not even so much interested in defeating them, although that'd be nice, but just to move them out so I can finally take control of the rest of the line. We'll leave a force here in Parkersburg for the time. Meanwhile, the rest of the force will go back to Clarksburg, except for a couple units, a couple regiments here, which will go to Brook to continue to increase the military control. We're sending the supply unit back. It now has 100% supply. Longstreet is now leading the division led by Whiting. We have a decent-sized force in Richmond that should stop any sort of movements there on an offloading basis. And then we still have Huger and Johnson's force here. Yeah, I guess I should probably go ahead and form a division with these guys here, so let's go ahead and do that. Not a huge fan of Huger because his defensive capabilities are so low. So I think let's leave that as I don't really want to spend the money on it. You can see we have a small force here in Wilmington. This is a bit of a piece of good news. Is Sims actually was not killed, and he's arrived with the Huntress Squadron. So, but another one of our units was destroyed. We also have a small force holding Charleston, and then another small force holding Savannah. Kind of just showing you how we're controlling strategic and objective cities. Same thing here with Mobile, Alabama, and of course a larger force in New Orleans. Now, in Kentucky, what I'm doing is I'm going to actually, let's leave a unit here. I'm going to send over Johnston, who's going to attack Mercer, Kentucky, and hopefully defeat whatever's there. It should be one small unit, and gain control of this area. And then we can think about if we want to move on to Lexington or come back and attack Milroy's attachment here. So a few other forces are going to converge on Hard, Kentucky, and of course we're still holding Bowling Green and Nashville. So we're sort of spread all out while we're also maintaining Paducah and Columbus. So yeah, I think it's hard to kind of hold Kentucky for super long because it's so huge, but I like making some sort of play here. Out west in Kansas, we're going to do a couple things. One is I'm actually going to send McCulloch, who's now been formed, forward into Erie to regain complete control of this. We're not going to risk anything with Shelby right now because of the supply situation, and I don't think we could defeat these regular units. So what we're going to do is go take Fort Scott and basically establish military control here. A lot of these units will also spread out to establish control. Price now has a small division in Fayetteville. So those are pretty much the highlights. We've more or less spent all of our money, as you can see up here. And here is what we are building. I've added another ironclad to Vicksburg, so that's going to be on the way. I'm requesting one will be infantry replacement. No other decisions here. So let's run the turn, and we will see what happens. All right, very, very interesting turn. No movement in your traditional Virginia theater, a lot of movement over here. A couple things have happened. One is the Union preemptively decided to leave Morgantown, and they are now kind of up here, sort of spread out in several different forces. There's one cavalry regiment that's down here. Meanwhile, you can see that we do have complete control of Parkersburg, and of course still in Clarksburg, and we're increasing control here. So looks like he's kind of sprayed out the cavalry, trying to create some havoc in this part. Could be a couple options. Keys could come south and attack, but with Johnston's force here, I think it would be kind of risky. So McDowell, of course, has a much stronger power now that they formed divisions, and so does McClellan. So out in Kentucky, we did easily, of course, take Harrodsburg, if I'm saying that correctly. And as you can see, General Grant has arrived with a very, very, very large force. And so now what we'll have to basically consider is, do we want to basically go over here to Lexington and take it and try to hold a different line over here, or do we want to send Johnston basically back south here? So a couple different options. Don't know what I'm going to do yet. So you can basically see the Union has formed the majority of their forces there, and looks like it left a very, very small force in Cairo. In addition, the force that was here is gone. So it looks like the Union's pretty much consolidated everything to Louisville, which is a pretty good move by the Union. You want to be able to bring in Grant's forces together, and you can do a lot of damage in kind of the open area. Out west in Kansas, you can see we actually we did take the fort. There was no battle, and you can kind of see what I'm doing here is basically establishing control over the entire area. In addition to that, McCulloch has moved forward, and Lyon has a decent sized force. Here actually is larger than ours. So you can see I do a lot with military control, both on the railroad front and just generally, because when you have 100%, or actually higher than 95, or it might be 95 and higher, the opposing unit is forced to move into an offensive position, which of course makes sense. And if you have higher than 75%, only you can control the railroads. So there are really some sort of posture and transportation decisions that have quite a lot of impact. So the game is really starting to get interesting now. So we'll have to really consider the next turn what to do. Let's take a look at the messages. We're successful in drafting citizens in Baton Rouge and Vicksburg. I made that decision a few turns ago, and it takes a few turns for it to see if you get it. And we did get it, because I think it gives us 45 more per one, so it's quite a lot. Yeah. Okay, so we brought in some more. We were unable. No attacks happened here on that lone Union regiment. Here was the battle where Johnston won, and yeah, you can see there it is. Yeah, kind of risky. I mean, I'll have to, it is nice to have the military control because we've split the eastern part of Kentucky here to Louisville. Of course, there's not a rail line that connects me here, so I'll have to march overland if we want to go that way. So, yeah. Here's the battle where we actually brought Keyes to battle, and it looks like more of a skirmish than anything. Keyes did retreat, and you can see now that Keyes has actually moved over to one region. Okay, so last things here are just some of our more forces are ready, and the Union is doing even more purchases, just lots and lots of purchases. Okay, so that's pretty much it for this turn. We'll think about what we're going to. I think the next turn, the big decisions are basically what to do in this theater, and of course the big one of what to do in Kentucky, where we're outnumbered by about 2-1. I could move forces up here and make a stand. I just don't actually know if I have enough forces to do that. So it becomes a bit, that can become actually a bit tricky. But I can certainly can think about it. Okay, see you next time.